Hey everyone, Kaiser Soze here. Eddie James, Fantasy Football Commissioner of the Year. Give that award to myself. We're going to talk about Week 14 in the games and have a quick look at playoffs this week, fellas and ladies. I'm sure all the ladies are going to be watching today. Jump right into the games this week. I want to give my game of the week to an honorable mentions and really good stuff going towards the shitbags in his game against the all-inclusives. Scoring 238.2 points. Congratulations for the league's lead. I got you in playoffs next week. It's going to be bad for me. One more early year upset. Hope maybe for me, though. Maybe I'll upset shitbags. That'd be cool. And he faced the all-inclusives there, totaling 132.5. Players of the game there for heavy, you got them all, really. They all scored high. It was really sick. Great job, man. Even Steven Jackson chipped in with 15 points to seal his all-time league lead. All-inclusives had good performances of A.J. Green and Julio Jones. Didn't quite get enough from his other players, though. His running backs underperforming a bit. Ryan Fitzpatrick, on the week where he drops Cam Newton, he is fantasy player of the week, and tough luck there for Brian. But anyway, good game either way. Second best game of the week and most close game. I set these games up thinking that there would be pretty close games, but it turned out most of them weren't. Either way, no problem there. Team no touchdowns versus Adrian Peterson, with the Petersons coming on top. Scotty here getting a victory, even though he posted a 61.6% efficiency rating over Team No Touchdown 72%. But didn't go wrong, really, in most cases. I think most of that was because he didn't went ahead and dropped his two best players, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and I think he had another guy who didn't play. So, good job there on the show up. Love it. Team No Touchdowns getting a bad week from everybody. Peyton didn't do well. Marshawn got 21, I guess. The rest were pretty bad. Pierre Paul was next highest scorer, basically, with 15.5. Oh, no, Brandon Marshall, pardon me, linebacker out of Denver. So he gets 30 points out of his, 40 points, out of his defense, and that accounts for about 7 of his players on offense. So tough week for Team No Touchdowns. Good luck in the playoffs, both of you guys. Yo Namath faced Smoking the Jeffrey in a game that was kind of like the game I had against Hotbox in there. Yo Namath ends up coming up on top, 182 points, nice game, over Smoking the Jeffrey, 140.7 points, also very nice game. Jay Cutler doing some pretty good work for Yo Namath. I used to have him, he's good. Hopefully he stays good. And Jamal Charles, DeMarco Murray doing their thing. Antonio Brown also, 21.4 points for him. He had good performances out of almost everybody outside of 2 players on his defense, so that's pretty good. Eli Manning there, not doing crazy good work for Smoking the Jeffrey. He had 14. And most of the players on the Giants had kind of a bad week, so tough week to pick Giants players. Arian Foster was fine, but Rashad Jennings was bad. Kelvin Benjamin normally puts up a lot more points than 10, but he was helped out by Alshon Jeffrey and Emmanuel Sanders with 10 apiece, and 21.5 for Jeffrey there, excuse me. Olsen with 23 on the week that Cam Newton went wild. So good week out of both of them. Could have gained a few points starting Mike Evans there, but not a big thing. Yo Namath, of course, could have started Matt Ryan and netted himself another 10 points as well. So both teams went very well. In my game, I started Ben Roethlisberger. And he was turned out to be a good choice. I did not start Steve Smith or Wes Welker, and I could have went with any other combination of wide receivers than I did, aside from Julian Edelman, and had a better week. But 152 points is good. I got 15 out of Forsett and 9.7 out of Jeremy Hill. Should have maybe started Lamar Miller, but I'm happy I didn't go with LaShawn McCoy against pretty good Seattle defense. So I'm pat myself on the back for that. My defense was played pretty well too. Hotboxing's players had New Orleans teams. When they don't do well and you have them on your team, you typically lose. So Drew Brees had 13. Brandon, Jimmy Graham, that's who I want, but 5.5. So not that great out of his players. But Joik Bell getting 30, which is awesome. Um, and quite a few kind of underperformers there. Um, Not real bad. Jonathan Stewart, he could have started. I mean, that wouldn't have made a huge difference, but um, is what it is. Good luck in the playoffs, Chester. We have the bye week versus Team Thomas in the pretty much nothing game of the week. Um, Walsh crushed 145 to 109.5. Eddie Lacy playing big. Andy Dalton getting a really nice start. Way to start him over Brian Hoyer. That was really good. Outside of that, um, Sammy Watkins coming back. Martellus Bennett on a Thursday night are having a big game. Team Thomas started 27.7 out of Andrew Luck, which is great. Tavon Austin 21, Des Bryant 14. Adam Vinatieri, J.J. Watt, and David Levante putting together 32 points, 32 and a half points there for him. So good job. Or no, excuse me, 25.5. I counted Vinatieri there. So that was the week of games. Great games, very fun. The playoffs are now seeded, and I posted a link on the message board. But in case you haven't seen that yet, the playoffs are seeded 1 through 8. We'll do 3 weeks of playoffs here. Let me just get to it, and we'll talk about playoffs a little bit. So went with Yo Namath. He's the all-right winner. There were some tiebreakers that we had to kind of sort through. Me and Scott were tied for second place at 8 and 4, but he has higher points for us, so I slide to 3 and end up facing the shitbags in a nightmare matchup. Hopefully, oh my god, hopefully I get some big performances out of guys. I don't know that I can put 200 points up in a week, so good luck to me. Shitbags, may the best man win. I like you for the champs if you beat me. If I beat you, I like me for the champs. The other tiebreaker was at 6, 7, and 8, where everybody had 6 and 8. Where in that one, shitbags ended up at 6, team no touchdowns at 7, and all inclusives in at 8. So yeah, those were the tiebreakers. But we'll start with the number 1 versus the 8, Yo Namath, and versus the all inclusives. Could be a landslide. I don't know. Brian's players have been down a bit. It's not looking exceptionally good for him. I like Yo Namath to have his players just be just fine. They're all in contention still, so there won't be any weird starts and not starts out of his teams. So predicting Yo Namath to go ahead and take that one. Hot Boxing versus Smoking a Jeffrey. These are our two teams with very close records. They're only a win away a piece. Excuse me. With Smoking a Jeffrey at 500 and Hot Boxing, I believe, just one under that, or Hot Boxing at 500 and Smoking a Jeffrey just over that. One of the two. If New Orleans gets a big week and Drew Brees scores well with with Billy Graham, whoever it is, Graham on his team scoring a touchdown or two, then I like him to win. But not super likely. Smoking Jeffrey's team maybe is a little more complete. He's got nice receivers and options to start all the way. So I may be leaning towards Smoking Jeffrey and Hot Boxing only just behind that. Team no touchdowns, the 7th seed versus Adrian Peterson. Peterson's team is good. He showed that he can beat Team no touchdowns. He just did. I think that maybe he will. Team no touchdowns chance to win there comes with Peyton and Marshawn Lynch, and hopefully he can get a couple of his other guys to do some damage for him. If that doesn't happen, then he's out of luck. Peterson's got great quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers, so good luck to both of them. He's got Gronk too, tight end. He's pretty loaded. It's a nice team. Then my team, Kaiser Soze versus Shitbags, Dustin's team. This is, I think, any other week than the last 3 weeks. Maybe I would have the advantage, but Shitbags has put up like over 200 for 2 weeks in a row and 180 the week before that, I believe. So he's good. His team is rolling. Stafford and Johnson are sick. Le'Veon Bell, and all of a sudden his wide receivers are insane. ODB, T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton is just amazing. He puts up nearly 30 a game. as the top option there in Indianapolis. So uh, his team is good. I'm on Jelly. It's real nice. Not many people on waivers that I can pick up that I think will compete with that too much. So pray for a down week out of Stafford and Johnson, and I think I've got a chance. We'll see how that goes anyway. Um, so yeah, those are the playoffs. We'll go week 15. Starts up this Saturday, no Sunday, and 16 and 17 for how that ends up going. So good luck to everybody. I'll manually reseed everything. I'm believing I'll reseed, go from first place faces the worst place team kind of a thing. So if team no touchdowns or shitbags gets ahead, then the number one seed or number two seed, depending on whoever wins or loses, will end up facing that next lowest person. This has been the Week 15 fantasy preview and Week 14 fantasy recap. Real nice weeks, and yeah, can't say I'm happy enough about the year we've had. It's been a great one, guys. Can't wait till next year again. Playoffs are starting. Want to just have a quick 10 seconds here, and well, 10 seconds. We'll talk about Ryan Walsh. He's it's unfortunate, but the man had maybe the best team that didn't make the playoffs this year. He's a good man. He's a good soldier. He's a good representative of this league, and it's hard to see him out of the playoffs again. And I'm actually sort of now happy that my league article stayed on the front page for basically the whole year. What did September 12th, I put that up, so it's been there for 3 months now. So good for me. I'm really smart that way in terms of predicting Walsh not being good. It's Wednesday today, so I'm feeling like maybe going for beers. If anybody else wants to come for beers, let me know. We'll do that. But thanks a lot, guys. And here's your little picture of Mally. Just wait 1 second. Mally. Bye, buddy. Thanks for listening. Have a great week, guys.